Hey, this is Isaiah from Real Thread, and today on our customer success stories, we're going to be meeting with Taylor from the Orlando Informer. Orlando Informer has been a long time customer of Real Thread, and one of our favorite customers. They are one of the leading people in entertainment and theme park resources and events. But I don't want to give too much away, so let's go ahead and dive right into this episode. I'm here with Taylor from the Orlando Informer. Taylor, thank you so much for being here. I got a few questions today, so I hope you are ready for it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Let's jump in.
Of course. All right, Taylor. What was the initial idea behind the Orlando Informer? How did it all begin?
So it started before me. I started working at Orlando Informer about 11 years ago, but it started as a vacation planning website. So Universal, mainly focused on Universal Orlando. So Universal Orlando was growing really quickly, lots of expansion at that time, and so it was a resource for guests who wanted to learn more about the park. So they were planning a vacation, they could jump on the website and do so.
Cool. That's awesome. So you've been involved with the Orlando Informer since high school. What sparked kind of like that passion behind theme park, focus-based community?
Absolutely. So at the time, I knew I wanted to do something involving theme parks. I grew up going to theme parks, and I was still in high school. I went to high school in South Florida, so still a little ways
Oh
away
wow.
from Orlando. And so I was like, okay, how do I get something on my resume
Mhm.
to, go towards that direction? At the time, I thought it'd be something maybe more towards, they call it like parks technology or
Yeah.
information technology, more generally. And so, uh, from there, I was like, okay, well, let me apply for a job at Orlando Former, just a contract position, just to try
Yeah.
to get something on my resume to get started. And then I got stuck at Orlando Former and never
Yeah.
moved on.
And so tell us a little bit about like the origin of how you came to be the owner of it.
Yeah, so remember I was still in high school. I was on Christmas break,
Mhm.
and the owner at the time emailed everyone and said he was shutting it down. He was
Mm.
moving and moving on from the business, and so I offered to acquire it, and
Yeah.
then
You're
over
like, no,
time,
no, 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 this thing is too good. We got
yeah,
to keep it going.
yeah, I felt there would be a big hole in the market without it.
Mhm.
There wasn't a lot at that time of resources similar, and so yeah, so just very quickly over a couple weeks. I think that was during Christmas break, and then I think the first day officially was January 2nd
Mhm.
of 2015. So yeah, maybe over like 1 or 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
it all came
I
to be.
mean, really smart because the infrastructure was already there. You easily could have been like, okay, well, this is gonna be a hole in the market. I could do my own thing, versus what you did do, which is just like take the infrastructure that's already existing and build on it.
Yeah, and I think looking back, if the acquisition hadn't happened, I would have done that.
Mhm.
And either one would have been fun, and
Right.
I'm sure things would be okay. But yeah, I do like the way we chose.
That's awesome. So, and then now tell us a little bit about the evolution from when you took it over to like what's it at today.
Absolutely. So there was no like 10-year plan.
Mhm.
So it definitely wasn't a situation where I was in high school and I was like, let's map out this 10-year plan. I was
Right.
very focused on tomorrow or today, versus 10 years. But it has really transitioned. It's still a vacation planning resource,
Mhm.
but we have a couple a couple differences from back then. So the biggest of which is, now we host events, which came very organically. There was
Mhm.
not like a let's one day host really large theme park events. It was let's I actually the origin of that is I had trouble getting a dinner reservation
Oh,
for a small group
geez,
of
yeah.
people, and so then it just slowly grew from there. And then same with, we offer tickets and hotels now. We offer
Nice.
merchandise as well with Real Thread, and so yeah, so that all came to be just organically over 10 years, whereas when I started working there, it was purely just information on planning a vacation, not
Right.
selling anything, just purely based on advertisement on the website.
That's amazing. So that kind of goes into my next question. It says, so you've been recognized as like a major influence in the theme park industry. What does that recognition mean to you?
Well, first of all, it's crazy because some of the
Mhm.
other people on that list you're referencing are incredible, like
Mhm.
30-year veterans who I'd really look up to, and really made a huge impact in the industry. So number one, I'm really honored to be included just
Yeah.
alongside them. But it means a lot, and we're really focused on personalized service, and how to do that, at some level of scale, right? Because it's easy to provide service to like on a one-to-one basis,
Mhm.
and but then when you scale it up, it gets harder and harder, and so that's something we really pride ourselves on, and that's really where we're trying to influence the industry
Yeah.
most, is that level of service that you see in some kind of other industries, maybe like luxury hospitality. How do we take that and apply it to like a theme park setting?
Mhm. And as your like customer base is just it's not just people in Orlando, right? It's like kind of nationwide at this point.
Yeah, yeah, it's international. I forget the number of countries. It's a
Oh wow.
large number of countries. Yeah, that come every year. We have guests that come from like the UK, and they
Mm,
only come for a weekend just for the event.
yeah,
But yes, the vast majority is outside of Florida for sure.
that is awesome. That's
Mhm.
crazy. All right, so Taylor, I want to switch gears and talk about like kind of the building, the building the community of the Orlando Informer. So my first question to you is like Orlando Informers isn't just a website, like it's basically obviously now a thriving community. How do you keep fans engaged and connected beyond providing information?
To me, the first aspect of that is listening to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really obsessed over what they have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Both individually and as a whole. How can we look at what one person thinks, and then how can we look at what a group of 100 people think, and
Mm-hmm.
what are the commonalities there? And I think both are important in different aspects, but extremely focused on the guest feedback, and then continuing to iterate over that. And
Yeah.
so yeah, with the community aspect, that's what it's all about, is making sure they know you're listening, and you care.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, those are two things that we've never lacked. We
Yeah.
really do deeply care about their experience, and that makes it really easy to build a community.
Quick break. Need custom merch for your company, event, or team? Real Thread's got your back. From buttery soft t-shirts to sleek embroidered polos, we make it easy to bring your ideas to life. Plus, you can join our newsletter and follow us on social platforms for exclusive updates, deals, and discounts throughout the year. Don't miss out. Was there like one piece of feedback that you got from maybe the majority or a good chunk of your like clientele that made you guys switch gears in like a significant way?
Every day, yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of I mean, I'll take it back to Real Thread.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when we're considering, we have amazing designers, and they'll come up with a lot of different designs. But
Yeah.
obviously, it's not realistic to print every
Maybe
design,
achieve.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, can't do that, and so you have to narrow it down. And so, we'll run surveys. We'll say, hey, how do you feel about this design versus
Mm-hmm.
this design? We can do that a lot of different ways. We can do it more traditionally with like survey software that we have. We could we have an SMS list, so we can say, hey,
Nice.
how do you feel about this? More
Yeah.
casually, even segmenting that SMS list and saying, you know, how do the most engaged, the people who are texting every day, how do they feel about this design?
Mm-hmm.
So things like that.
Very nice. Okay. And what do you think makes Orlando Informer stand out, from other theme park resources that might be in similar categories as Orlando Informer?
Yeah, I think we're really fortunate that, we have a more well-rounded selection of offerings, in the
Mm-hmm.
sense that, we do offer events. We also offer discounted theme park tickets year round. We just rolled out hotels as well. So we offer some hotels. Um, and then of course all the information, which I think we're really good at. And I
Mm-hmm.
think we are truly experts in like, as far as information goes, particularly at Universal. I don't think there's many people that are more knowledgeable. And I think all those things in one package is pretty hard to come by in the industry.
Nice. And I saw that Universal just came out with a new hotel. Did you check
Yeah,
it out yet?
yeah, they have 3 new hotels opening
Okay.
this year. So there's Stella Nova,
Yeah.
and then it's got a sister hotel, Terra Luna.
Mm-hmm.
So Stella Nova, yeah, I did check it out. I was there for some previews and for opening day as well. So it's
It's like
exciting.
it's like galaxy themed, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about kind of the wonder of space is how
Uh
they
huh.
would describe it. And so it's got a sister hotel that's also kind of space inspired called
Yeah.
Terra Luna that'll open, let's see, mid March.
Nice.
And then Helios Grand is the final one that opens this year on May 22nd. And so that one overlooks the new theme park they're building that'll
Okay.
open on
Yeah.
the same day.
That's sick. That's
Mhm.
interesting. Yeah, on the same day. All right. So, what is one of the most memorable interactions you've had with one of your fans of the Orlando Informer?
So, I've had a lot of memorable like one-to-one interactions that, involve something important in their life, happy or tragic. I've had both, right? But, those are really theirs to share. And so something that I can say more generally that always shocks me is, I actually have an album on my phone about this,
Yeah.
is I'll have guests come up and they've gotten some kind of Orlando former tattoo. So they've
Hmm.
gotten like a tattoo from, one of the merchandise designs, or just the logo,
Yeah.
anything like that.
Those are true fans.
They
Like
are truly
loyal fans.
fans.
Yeah.
And so, even though I've met quite a few
Uh
now,
huh.
it's still always like whoa, like
Yeah.
that's huge. And so I have an album on my phone dedicated
Yeah.
to
I guess it must be so shocking initially because you're like, this is just like a one-time graphic,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're gonna have another one next time. So, and
Yeah.
then they have it permanently. But yeah, I guess it shows like how much that memory meant to them that they were
Mhm.
willing to like permanently ink themselves with
Yeah, and anyone watching this don't get any ideas, Orlando
it.
Orlando former tattoos don't get you special treatment that I can guarantee. But yeah, I mean, if I see
Yeah.
someone, and they've come every year and they have an Orlando former tattoo, we try to.
I wonder if that started because of the like Chipotle. Did you hear about that? Like I don't even know if it was true, but it was like if you get a Chipotle tattoo, you get free Chipotle
I haven't heard this.
forever or something like that.
It'd be cool if I got one though. If I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I've heard about this, and I just like rolled up my sleeve right now and had a
Right.
Chipotle tattoo. But no, I don't.
That would have
I've
been
never
funny.
heard about
Yeah. You're like I actually really love
it.
Chipotle. All right. So, um what's like one thing that people may not, realize about the work that goes into the Orlando Informer?
I would say that I tend to get a ton of the credit, and
Yeah.
so there's a lot of people involved other than me. We have
Mm.
we have really incredible
What's your team
partners.
size?
It can get to over 100.
Wow.
Yeah, so and a lot of those are seasonal folks, but
Mhm.
that's just the Orlando former team, and then we have incredible partners at the theme parks,
Yeah.
places like Real Thread,
Right.
and the designers that design this. So there's so
Yeah.
many people involved, and I really get too much of the credit. And so
Yeah.
someone will come up and say, "Hey, I love this year's shirt," and of course, at
Thank
the end
you.
of the day,
Yeah.
did oversee it. But there's so many people that are involved, like for example, of creating the shirt. The
Right.
designers, Real Thread. There's so many places. The fulfillment team at Real Thread. There's
Yeah.
so many different people that were involved and had a hand in that. And I think I get too much of the credit. So I think that's
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, this is a great segue. So I want to like kind of transition into like the role of custom apparel, real thread branding, and how that all works with the Orlando Informer. You kind of mentioned it, but kind of tell us what made you choose Real Thread. How long have you been working with us?
So yeah, that's a great question as to how long. I mean, it's been years and years. I don't know
Mm.
exactly the year. We'll have to like look it up and put
And
it on
you
screen or
initiated
something.
that, right? This is
Yes.
after the.
Yeah, so it's year it was a couple years in to Orlando Former for sure, and it was actually another Real Thread
Hmm.
customer that referred me to Real Thread.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Internal
Mhm.
referrals was awesome.
So they did an early design for us, and I was looking for a place to print it,
Hmm.
and they said, "Oh, I use Real Thread for some of my other designs,"
Yeah.
and it's another big Real Thread client. Um, and so that's how the Real Thread connection came to be. And then over the years, especially with the events, we've been really focused on environmental branding.
Yeah.
And so when you go, all the signage being cohesive, and we spend a lot of time and money on like seasonal signage. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's an event in the winter, it's a unique design that then
Yeah.
changes next winter. And so a natural extension of that was, the apparel.
Right.
And so we'll do matching apparel to the environmental branding,
Hmm.
all cohesive by one husband and wife have been doing our environmental branding and then our
Right.
apparel as well. And we send it over to Real Thread, and then yeah, the rest is history.
That is awesome. Are you looking to bring your merch to life? Well, Real Thread has got you covered. Whether it's company swag, event merch, or something totally unique, we'll help you create high quality custom apparel that your audience will absolutely love. Plus, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter and follow us on social media to stay in the loop for exclusive deals and discounts throughout the year. Why wait? Let's create something unforgettable. So, what does it mean when you see people like wearing Orlando like Informer gear? Like, what does that mean? What does that do for you?
Yes, it's similar to the tattoo story, but
Yeah.
obviously, a little step below, right?
Hmm.
But still, I mean, still incredible, right? Because you have, if you think about like one of our guests, I mean, they could wear anything they want, right? And
Right.
there's a lot of apparel out there, so
Hmm.
it means a lot.
Especially based on the theme park, maybe it's like a favorite ride or
Yeah,
like theme involved that I'm sure that they would want to wear if
a,
they went another time.
a
But now
thousand percent.
they're right, they're repping what they love or they're a fan of, which is Orlando Informer as well.
Yeah, and there's really powerful brands there, right? So
Hmm.
so yeah, so I mean, it's big players, and so yeah, we're incredibly honored anytime they choose
Right.
to wear an Orlando Former apparel. And so it's cool during the events, and it's even cooler, if I'm just there on a random Tuesday,
Right.
or even outside of the theme parks, which is
Hmm.
less common, but I mean, still, or
Mm,
theme parks in another state.
right.
Sometimes if I'm just a nerd about theme parks, so
Right.
sometimes I'll go to a theme park in another state and see someone in an Orlando Former apparel or something like that.
Oh, that's
That's really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, tell us like how does the operations of like how do you use custom apparel in this sense of like do you buy in bulk and host on your website and hope they all sell out? Do you do pre-orders? Like how do you operate your apparel side?
We've done a mixture.
Hmm.
I think that buying in bulk is a better experience
Right.
for the guest. So if you have the ability to support that, and
Hmm.
as you kind of implied, there's risk within that, right?
Right.
And so thankfully we're in a position now where we can take on the risk of inventory and things like
Right.
that. And so and we've also have a lot of historical data, right, at this
Right.
point.
You kind of know what kind of sizes, like, how many to get of each size, so that you're
Absolutely.
not like sitting with 200 extra T-shirts and you're like, well, what do I do with these?
Yes.
You're right.
And so that's the goal, right? And so, we don't always, achieve that 100%, but we tend to get pretty close.
Yeah.
And I think that's a better experience. So when it's possible. Now, we have an event coming up, and the timeline was a little short. So we did almost like a mixture of that where we sold it before it was done printing,
Right.
but we had already picked the number,
Right.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
it was kind of a pre-order, kind of not a pre-order. So
Yeah.
it just depends on, what's going on. But yeah, I
Gotcha.
tend to try to buy in bulk and then put it on sale.
And so tell me a little bit about how you are using fulfillment. Like, with buying in bulk, do you like let the rest of it sit in fulfillment? Like, how are you utilizing fulfillment?
Yeah, so we buy in bulk. We do pretty much all online sales. We
Hmm.
don't do any in person.
Okay, so no in person
Hmm.
the day of the
Hmm.
event. So they get, like, I guess they buy the tickets. When they buy the tickets, their shirt goes to them immediately.
Yeah, they have the option. We don't require them to buy a shirt, so
Right.
they can. Those are separate purchases, and if they choose to, they can certainly purchase the merchandise,
Nice.
and then it's tied directly into Real Thread fulfillment, and so the order goes to fulfillment and then goes out to the guest
Yeah.
really fast usually.
Very nice. Don't have to touch it. Don't have to do any order packaging. They just
Correct.
get it.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
think it's I obviously wouldn't want to like trash your competitors, but
right.
I think it's nicer than there's obviously a lot of services out there where
Hmm.
you upload your logo and then it's like printed and it's not as high quality and then
Right.
it's not a personal personalized service, and so
Right. So I'm assuming you maybe have like test the waters maybe with some other printers, kind of did a side by side comparison.
yeah, I think before Real Thread, real early on,
Hmm.
we we went with like some more huge, national or
Hmm.
international brand where it's like, you upload your logo, they do the store for you. It's very hands off,
Right.
probably even more hands off than this is, which isn't, very hands on to begin with. But yeah, it's not to me, it's not the same quality for our guest, and
Right.
so that's why I don't like
That
it.
premium quality. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, now switching gears, kind of looking ahead to the future for Orlando Informer. What kind of excites you the most?
Well, it's a really we're fortunate to be in the theme park space, and it's
Yeah.
in my opinion, we kind of touched on a little bit with the hotels. It's a really exciting time in that space, particularly at Universal, but I think even at the other parks, the United parks, like SeaWorld and Busch Gardens and Disney as well. There's a lot going on.
Hmm.
Universal's opening a new theme park later this year. Really doesn't happen very often. New theme
Right.
parks don't come around every day,
Right.
and so a really exciting time in the industry. And so I think we're excited to ride that wave, and
Hmm.
I think there'll be a lot of opportunities because I think competition does raise all boats, and so
Yeah.
excited to see what
That
comes of
I'd
it.
be excited to see what their competitors do
Yeah.
with that happening. And kind of with that said, is there anything on the horizon that Orlando Informer is like maybe working on? Any maybe like snippets that you would be willing to share?
Yeah, so there's a lot of top secrets that I can't share, but we are really excited about. We just rolled out hotel offerings, so
Hmm.
we already sold hotels for during the weekends of our events, but now we offer hotels year round. You can book
Yeah.
via Orlando Former, but probably by the time this is released, we're gonna have a redesigned booking flow so that right now today you have to book your tickets and hotel separate. We're about
Yeah.
to roll out something where year round you can book your tickets and hotel together. So we're excited about
Nice.
stuff like that. I can't give any of the big juicy
No,
secrets,
that's
but that's some
fair.
of the smaller
That's
stuff.
fair.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just have to be on the lookout and wait for everybody else, which
Absolutely.
is fine. um, and so, what some advice? Like, obviously, you're a very young entrepreneur. You started young, still young. What advice would you give to other young aspiring entrepreneurs, or entrepreneurs that are just getting started?
I kind of touched on it earlier. I think listening to the guest more than anything else
Hmm.
is what's most important, because if you listen to them, they'll tell you. It depends on the industry, right? But in our industry, at least, we're really fortunate that we have passionate guests, and they'll
Hmm.
provide tons and tons of feedback. And in some more boring industries, like for example, if I was in like I don't know, the finance industry or the bank industry. I don't know if our clients or, whatever you'd call them in that industry would be as forthcoming with information. People
Right.
aren't as passionate about
Yeah.
banking, so I think, but there's ways to get feedback no matter what industry you're in. And I
Mhm.
think taking that feedback above everything else at scale is so important. It's difficult to do on an individual one-to-one basis because, if you have a group of 100 people or 1,000 people, they're all going to provide different feedback.
Right.
But you try to look at patterns and you try to understand, each guest's individual needs, and then try to, navigate the business, I think, around that. um, is the advice I'd give.
All right, quick pause. Need help bringing your customers to life? RealThread has you covered. Whether it's company swag or event apparel, we make it easy to create high quality, stylish pieces that people actually want to wear. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter and follow us on social media to stay up to date on exclusive deals and discounts throughout the year. Who doesn't love a good deal on custom apparel? I just want to ask you like a general question about the apparel choices that you've gone with in the past. What has been like your favorite tee?
We're on comfort colors right
Yeah.
now, partially because of guest feedback.
Yeah.
So yeah, so a higher garment cost obviously than some of the other options,
Mhm.
but yeah, it was from what I could tell what the guests wanted.
Yeah.
Of course, again, everyone has different opinions, right? So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not saying 100% of
No,
people
but
are
I
gonna
would say,
prefer.
yeah, the vast majority of people who like don't know as much as individuals here at Real Thread know about a lot of different garments. Um, but we do sense that like the majority of people request comfort colors
Mhm.
for whatever reason. Personally, I wear comfort colors a lot as well, so and I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Um, and then I noticed you have like polos too. Like, what kind of polos do you tend to usually use?
That's a great question. We'd have to put it on the screen. I don't have.
Yeah.
I'm not as someone else on the team does we the polos are for our team and our
Right.
staff, and so I care about what the staff think of the
Right.
polos. But typically, our team feedback is less about the polos and more about other things at the company.
Right.
And so I haven't heard any complaints about
The polos
the polo
chosen,
choice.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think we varied over the years. We do like what? Oh, there's a logo
Oh
right
yeah,
there. Yeah, yeah.
OGIO.
Yeah,
Nice.
OGIO. We have tried some other ones, I think more like cotton based,
Yeah.
and
Sure it gets a little warm.
a little
Maybe,
warm.
yeah, with all the
Exactly.
moving around.
Exactly.
And it's not just limited to apparel, right? You guys also do bags. I feel like I remember
hmm
seeing like a fanny pack
We've
before.
we've ventured out. So yeah, so fanny packs. Oh, we've
There
got
it
it on
is.
the
Yeah, I
wall.
was like, wait
Wow.
a minute. I was
Look
like,
at
I
this.
know I've seen it. So
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, so that's kind of an interesting aspect of all this is we had a bird on one of our early like shirts or I think
Mhm.
a sign, and our community really liked the bird, so we were like, oh, we should name the bird, so we named it Churro.
Nice.
Turned into like a walk around character, so Churro
Oh
now
wow.
actually like
It's like a
meets guests.
mascot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so Churro now meets guests, and but it was just purely from a shirt design, I think, from years ago. And so yeah, so that's an embroidered Churro fanny pack
Nice.
from the embroidery side of
I
Real
love
Thread.
that.
Yeah.
Last final statements that you want to mention?
No, I would say overall that working with Real Thread has been a pleasure over so many years. I think
Mhm.
I think it's the I'll give one small example that if I was considering working with someone like Real Thread, I'd want to consider. So something interesting to me is when someone, at least in the account management side, when someone takes a day off,
Yeah.
the emails like forward to another account manager,
Yeah.
and like same day they reply.
Right.
Which I don't think that's super common at like. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't speak to every company like Real
No,
Thread,
I
but
mean,
just
yeah, but
you know
how often do you like, your state? I don't want to say a company, but like, you go to use another company, and very unlikely that you wouldn't even know that you're waiting a day or two to get a response.
correct. Yeah. And we work with a lot of people, and if they go out of office, maybe in their out of office response it'll be like, hey, if this is urgent, contact this
Mhm.
person, but in my experience, not many other people we work with would auto forward, and then they reply and they say,
Right.
hey, this person's out of office today, but I'm going to take it over until they get back, even if
Yeah.
it's just a day.
Right.
So we really value speed at Orlando Former, and I think that really shows at Real Thread as well.
That's awesome. Hey, well, thank you so much for the compliments. I know the whole team will appreciate hearing that. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for your time and answering our questions. And we look forward to the partnership continuing on and seeing the growth of Orlando Informer.
Absolutely. Thanks for the great questions.
Thank you.